This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Thursday, July 27th, 2023. I'm Kate Sharon. The Vice President of the Indiana Farm Bureau says there are steps Congress can take to help small businesses in rural Indiana remain solvent and grow, helping to boost their local communities. Kendall Culp on Wednesday testified before the U.S. House Committee on Small Business, which held a hearing on examining the challenges and state of rural small business.
First of all, our rural communities face several challenges, and the 2020 census certainly highlighted how dire that situation is across rural America.
Despite many of the challenges facing businesses in rural communities, Culp urged Congress to pass a bipartisan 2023 Farm Bill on time, which would help businesses access much-needed resources. Culp is also a state representative in the Indiana House District 16, which covers portions of Jasper, Pulaski, Stark, and White counties in northwest Indiana. He also owns a farm that grows corn and soybeans and raises beef cattle. Culp said the rural development title in the Farm Bill will be a major step in supporting rural businesses. He said there are a number of grant opportunities that small businesses can apply for, as well as economic development incentives for communities. Gary, Indiana has a new affordable senior living community. The housing, named after former activist and politician Carolyn Mosby, is a rehabbed 8-story building with 142 units. Those over 55 and in the income groups of 30%, 40%, and 50% annual median income are eligible to become residents. The project broke ground in June 2022. Leaders with the United Way of Central Indiana are announcing this week a new 5-year strategic plan. IIB's Alex Brown has more.
The plan, called Partners in Purpose, outlines 4 areas of concentration to support those in Central Indiana experiencing financial instability. Over 240,000 Central Indiana families live in or near poverty, according to a 2023 United Way report. The report shows that number has grown 11% since 2018. The 5-year plan will bring changes to United Way's grant-making structures. Its current basic needs, family opportunity, and social innovation practices will continue through the end of 2024, at which time United Way will follow a new, streamlined process. Over the last 18 months, United Way officials have identified through research and input gathering the following priorities: basic needs, early childhood education, economic mobility, and safe and affordable housing. Some reporting requirements will shift from a quarterly schedule to a biannual schedule, allowing partners that receive United Way funding more than a year to prepare for changes in the organization's grant practices. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
From the #1 source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
For 25 years, we've had the honor of telling the story of Indiana business. More than 1,300 shows, 8,000 interviews. We've traveled from Valparaiso to Versailles, Fort Wayne to Fort Branch, and everywhere in between. And we are just getting started. Our team is passionate about Indiana business because your story is worth telling. Join us every week as we travel the state to bring you Indiana's story. Inside Indiana Business, 25 years and counting.
The Hammond City Council is waiting to hold a final vote on a proposal to close all gas stations in the city overnight. Our partners at Lakeshore Public Radio report council members want to review additional crime statistics before making a decision. The council proposed the ordinance earlier this month, following a June homicide that took place around 2 a.m. at a Hammond gas station. If approved, most of the 37 gas stations within city limits would be forced to close from midnight to 5 a.m., though they could apply for an exception from Hammond's Board of Public Works and Safety. Across Marion County, several school districts report a better staffing outlook for the new school year than around this time last year, as they continue to recover from the staffing crisis exacerbated by the pandemic. But some are still struggling to fill roles that were a perennial challenge to staff even before COVID, such as special education, science, and math teachers. School districts have implemented a variety of new strategies to keep workers. Perry Township's strategy involved eliminating bus routes. The Metropolitan School District of Pike Township increased salaries for bus drivers. Indianapolis Public Schools allocated $15 million in federal emergency funding to entice teachers to stay. And districts say some of those changes have worked. Lafayette-based Wabash is reporting a second quarter net income of $74.3 million, up from $22.6 million during the same period last year. CEO Brent Yeagley said Wednesday the manufacturer's efforts in the first half of the year have already positioned the company for its best years in terms of financial achievements in 2023. The company also reported record quarter earnings per share of $1.54 and a record operating income of $103 million. Additionally, net sales have increased 6.8% to $686.6 million. WGU Indiana Chancellor Allison Bell is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Kate Sharon for Inside Indiana Business, Radio on Demand.